1 year ago this week, the large chemical spill in West Virginia that we discussed in detail left close to 300,000 people without water. The spill was released from a Freedom Industries facility into the Elk River. You have to love that name, Lewis, Freedom Industries, because they certainly have the freedom to pollute wherever they want. But I would argue if turning on your drinking water and having it touch your skin presents a health risk, you're not really that free as an individual, are you?
As an individual, no. But let's not forget that companies are people. Corporations are people.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that companies like Freedom Industries are able to pollute as much as they want. And I always, like I've said, always be very wary of things that have the word freedom or patriot in them, like the Patriot Act, because whenever you have to name something like that in such a fashion, you're probably hiding something pretty nefarious.
It reminds me of when the cigarette lobbies got together and they pushed cigarette smoking in restaurants as an issue of freedom. And they lobbied and they explained that, you know, the individuals need to have the freedom and liberty to smoke in restaurants. And it's also bad for the freedom of the restaurant owner, because if people can't smoke there, the smokers aren't going to want to go. So it's just freedom all around for smoking in restaurants, ignoring the fact that non-smokers would not have the freedom and liberty to be to avoid the negative side effects of secondhand smoke. It's all very often the issue of freedom is connected to someone else's lack of freedom. And to me, that doesn't truly represent freedom, does it?
I don't think so. For example, it's, people who are pro-gun think that everyone should have a gun and that anyone should be able to get a gun because that's freedom. Meanwhile, I am walking down the street and run the risk of getting shot at any time. But is that freedom too?
I would argue no. And this spill back a year ago in West Virginia was the third chemical spill to occur in the area in 5 years. And then there was another one just 6 months later. We've got earthquakes because of fracking. We have chemical spills making water hazardous to even have it come in contact with your skin. This is a serious, serious issue going forward when we think about the energy future of the country.
It's a huge problem. But it seems that there's no stopping it. We need, at the very least, much, much, much stricter regulation and oversight, but there doesn't seem to be much of that either.
Join us on Reddit, davidpakman.com/Reddit. That's Reddit. Talk to other viewers and listeners, suggest stories for the show, ask us questions. Very exciting stuff. Great interview next, and your audience questions later on.